You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Y&R fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. And after the most recent episode, I want you guys to answer me this question after you watch it on Y&R or read your recap, wherever you do that. Is Victor Newman now taking aim at Sharon on Y&R? I have a very specific reason for saying this, and I wonder if you guys are going to see in the episode airing on Thursday in the U.S. the same thing that I am seeing. So we just watched over the past week Victor Newman do Sally Spectra so dirty. And now fans seem to be worried, the ones that have seen this episode a day ahead in Canada, worried that Victor might be taking aim at Sharon Newman Rosales as well. Why? Well, because there's another woman that he thinks has done his sons wrong, Sharon, and him too, for that matter, because he has a past relationship with Sharon as well. So we're going to dig into what it looks like Victor might soon do to Sharon and why. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Y&R updates. Now let's dig in. If you remember, Victor loved Sharon briefly in the past, or maybe he just had the hots for her. But anyway, he had enough feelings about her to marry her twice, although both attempts wound up in annulments. But he also tormented her horribly in the past. Remember, it was Victor that brought Mariah Copeland to town to haunt and gaslight Sharon, pretending to be a more grown-up version of poor dead Cassie. That was before they knew that Cassie and Mariah were secret twins. So I have to ask, is Victor Newman using this new company to settle old grudges as well as newer ones? What he just did to Sally Spectra was intentional, and it was unconscionable, especially considering her just coming off of this horrible loss of her baby with Adam. But that doesn't care. And now it feels to me maybe like Sharon could be next in line for a dirty deed done by Victor. Is this all part of a master plan to unite his sons, or is this just Victor being Victor? So this week on Thursday, you're going to see Victor calling naughty Nate Hastings over to the ranch to give his expert opinion on SNA media. Again, Nate's a surgeon. I don't know this business expertise, whatever, maybe just being cutthroat is in his DNA. So Nate responds by saying that Adam is basically too wild, too out of control to be trusted, and Nick is too safe to be effective, that he's not capable of growing a company because he's Nick the Stick and he's dull. I don't disagree with that analysis. And Nate also doesn't see the value in Sharon's company and thinks it should be stripped for parts, basically, and folded up into Newman Media. So then, after Nate leaves, Sharon, Nick, and Adam arrive, and Victor tells them he's going to go ahead and push SNA into Newman Media, which is actually what Adam had suggested, and everybody poo-pooed on it. So what about Sharon's interest, though, in this merged company? So she merged Cameron's company in with Augustus, and it became SNA. Realistically, she should own about 30 to 50% of the merged company, because remember, her company was debt-free. And Augustus, Tucker McCall's company, was heavily leveraged. So Victor basically got investors and he financed Nick and Adam's ownership of their part of SNA. He doesn't own 1% of Sharon's part of that company. She owns it free and clear because it was left to her in creepy Cameron Kirsten's will. But Victor is making these unilateral decisions for all three of them. That doesn't seem kosher to me, but he's doing it anyway. So what I have to wonder is if Victor is about to yank the rug out from under Sharon Newman the same way he did to Sally Spectra, basically. Is he going to shove Sharon's company in with Newman Media and then tell her to take a hike? Chuck her out the door, maybe with a small payout, maybe with nothing because he does something sneaky with the merger paperwork. I don't know. What it seems to me lately is that Victor Newman is just lashing out nonstop. And while he says he has a plan, I don't think he does. And that's not down to Victor. It's down to the terrible writing on Young and the Restless lately. And they can't even use the writer's strike as an excuse. It's the same writer, Josh Griffith. He crossed the picket lines this time just like he did in the 2008 strike. So lately on Young and the Restless, as you guys know, it's been non-stop business meetings. So much business that I feel like watching Y&R is a 9-to-5 job compressed into, 45 minutes once I fast forward past the commercials. The stuff with Victor Newman being a mastermind at this point, based on what he's doing, feels like nonsense. The problem with writing somebody doing genius moves or a business genius or a villainous genius is that the writer has to be very clever themselves to write a genius plot. These plots do not feel clever to me. They feel petty and inconsistent and all over the place, and like there's no continuity day to day. It's insane to me. I don't know if you guys are feeling this. I feel like some days, what am I watching? What is happening? And at some points it's like, okay, I tuned out for like a full 30 seconds because they lost my interest. So despite the sloppy writing and all that, I'm still left wondering if Victor is using this business to lash out at anyone that he feels like has done him wrong or that he wants away from his sons, like he did to Sally. Was his plan to screw over Sally and now possibly also to target Sharon, designed to shove these women out of his sons' lives, to alienate them from him? Or I have another thought. But if you enjoyed this, please drop a like, drop your comments below on what you think that he's up to, and subscribe if you haven't already to our channel, please. It helps us so much. So is Victor trying to alienate them from his sons, or is he slapping at women he knows they both care about in some twisted plan to draw them closer together? Does he think them getting together against a common enemy, him, is a good plan? Or is there just no plan at all? And the Y&R writer is alone in the writer's room throwing darts at random characters and plot ideas, and wherever the darts land, he just puts them in the script, even if it does make sense. Let me know what you guys think. I'm very interested to hear, because I am very, very frustrated with Young and the Restless right now, and particularly with what Victor's doing, because it doesn't make sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys? If it does, tell me about it in the comments. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.